So a while back, we used to do this sort of ongoing series where people would send me like really funny or bad or both Yu-Gi-Oh articles, and I would react to them in a video. And it was a lot of fun, but we pretty much read all the more recent ones, and some of them aren't super funny to read, but I have been sent this article so many times over the past like couple of months here. It was released at the end of April, and I wanted to react to it in today's video and show you guys some of the stuff in it. Basically, if I can sort of describe this, they are reviewing Yu-Gi-Oh cards primarily from the original series, and it's titled The Best Yu-Gi-Oh Cards Updated 2020. Oh, and I should also mention here, there's nothing wrong with not really understanding modern Yu-Gi-Oh or even old school Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm not trying to make fun of the author here. The person that wrote this article clearly does like Yu-Gi-Oh, at least in some way. They probably just watched the TV show as a kid. It's just funny from my perspective as someone that knows how to play the game to read this article, but I'm not like laughing directly at the author of it because yeah, it's not really their fault for not knowing much about Yu-Gi-Oh. They just wanted to write about some iconic cards, and there's nothing really wrong with that. But they say in their description they're only looking at like the original like Duel Monsters series, yeah, the first main Yu-Gi-Oh series, and they're reviewing them based on Amazon reviews for the cards. Now, I don't know about you, but most people that actually play Yu-Gi-Oh do not buy their cards on Amazon. So the people that are buying these cards aren't really like actual players usually. And you can look at the comments because on all of these they have like, you can go to the Amazon post and read the reviews, and most of them you can tell are from people that either bought these cards for their kids or were like fans back in the day and haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh in like 15 years. But the descriptions for these cards and their pros and cons, I mean, it's just so funny. So I had to show it to you guys in today's video. Once again, thank you to everyone that sent me this article because like I said, I would not be making this video otherwise, but so many people sent me this article and I just had to read it in a video. So the first card here, which is the editor's choice, is Slifer the Sky Dragon. So it has a 9.74 out of 10 rating. That's amazing. Almost a perfect score. I mean, that's crazy. And what's really funny here is that, okay, first off, in the specifications, because it's sort of like going off of what the Amazon listing is. So in the specifications, it says number of cards 1, but pretty much all of these are going to say that because they're just reviewing individual cards. Rare cards included, ultra rare and secret rare, which just means, I don't even know what that means though, because it's like, are they saying that this listing is for an ultra rare and a secret rare? What's really funny here is that when you click the Slifer the Sky Dragon, so right here you can see it is the legal version of Slifer the Sky Dragon, but when you go to read reviews, it is no longer the legal version. It takes you to like the legendary collection version. So this is not even, I mean, already here we're on the very first card, the editor's choice. The version that they show in their article is not the version, and it's not even like the same legality as the one that it links to, which is way too funny. But yeah, here you go, that's what it links to. So that's sort of what we're dealing with here. And what I find really funny about this one in particular is that it says in the cons, forbidden from worldwide tournaments. So this is not true because they show the one that you can play with, but it is kind of true in that the link that they give is for the unplayable version. Pros and cons for Slifer the Sky Dragon. Let's take a look here. Pros: card effect allows for players to have an incredible upper hand during the duel. Various versions of the card are released for people to collect. I don't know how that's a pro. Gains 1,000 attack and defense points for every card in player's hand, and reduces the attack points of an opponent's monster by 2,000. Okay, like 2 of those were just listing the effect. Now Dark Magician, you know, it's not as good as Slifer. It only has an 8.97 out of 10, but one of the funniest things in this sort of entry on the article is that in the pros of the card it says takes only 1 tribute from monster cards to summon the card. So of all the things that they could get confused about, of all the weird ruling mistakes that they could put in this article, one of the most basic parts of Yu-Gi-Oh, that level 7 monsters take 2 tributes, they even couldn't get that right. How is anyone supposed to take this article seriously? Well, I guess people probably aren't, but how is anyone supposed to take this article seriously if it's getting something as simple as that on a card as simple as Dark Magician, as simple and iconic as Dark Magician? Yeah, that does not bode well for this particular article. The next entry is Blue Eyes White Dragon, and I see here that in the pros it says eligible to be used in trading card game tournaments. You could put that for like any card in the entire game, almost any card, like 99% of them. That's really funny. That's in the pros. Like, what's one of the advantages of this card? Well, Well, you can play it in tournaments. There's plenty of cards you can play in whatever. I know it's not supposed to be taken seriously, but it's pretty silly. High attack and defense points make it a great weapon. Yeah, an engine of destruction, I think is what it says in the text there. And a legendary dragon in the Yu-Gi-Oh universe. I suppose that could be a pro. I mean, this article was written by someone. It's not just like a generated article that's like just taking parts of the Amazon reviews. I mean, maybe it still is, maybe, I don't know. It seems like it was written by someone that never played Yu-Gi-Oh and also like watched the TV show 20 years ago and then never again, and is just like reading the Wikipedia page and trying to come up with like things to write here. I don't know. This setup is just so strange. I just really don't understand who this article was supposed to be for. Even like for casual players, they get so much wrong on here, and there's so many weird parts of it, like that there's key features and they list just like random parts about the card that in some cases aren't even true when you actually open up the what the link is going towards. I'm just not sure who this article is really for. Oh good, another god card. The Winged Dragon of Ra, 9.35 out of 10. Wait, why is that lower than... That is a higher rating than Dark Magician and Blue Eyes, but it's lower on the list. Anyway, the Winged Dragon of Ra, let's see, pros. No other card effects can be activated when the Winged Dragon of Ra is present on the field. That's not how it works. Maybe they should watch some of my Why Nobody Plays videos, but spend to a limit of 100 life points left to raise the card's attack and defense to high levels. That's also not true. It's not to a limit of 100 life points left. It is always to 100 life points left. Already they have gotten 2 parts of this card wrong. One of the 3 different god cards. Okay, that's correct. That is true. Cons, banned from all trading card game tournaments. I'm so confused here because it has the initial picture of the one that can't be played in tournaments, but then it also has a picture of the legal one, and I feel like those 2 cards, even though they are both the Winged Dragon of Ra, they shouldn't really be in the same category. Did I miss that with the Slifer? Does Slifer have both versions on there? It probably does. No, it doesn't. This one has a fake like Orica version and then the real version, so it doesn't even have like the Legendary Collection version. Like this isn't even like the official like non-playable version. It's just some like random proxy that someone made. Obelisk the Tormentor has a 9.22 out of 10. That's a little picture from the anime, and we got, okay, so we have the real one and the official non-playable one as far as this one goes, so that's pretty nice. Let's take a look here. Pros, high attack and defense points allows the player to use the card to act as a destroyer on the playing field. That's fair. Ultra rare rarity becomes a one-of-a-kind card to add to a player's collection. I don't think anyone is really thinking of the Legendary Collection version of this card as a one-of-a-kind collector's card. This thing is like what, like $2, less than $2? I don't really know. What's the last pro? The last pro on Obelisk is that it's a monster card. How is that a... That's just an aspect. Oh, it's also in key features. I'll say it is a key feature of Obelisk that it is a monster card. I'm not exactly sure if that counts as like a pro. It seems like they just couldn't come up with like a third thing to say about Obelisk. In cons, banned from all trading card game tournaments. Okay, I see now here that by the time they got to the 8th entry in this list, I mean, they probably didn't think anyone would scroll down this far, but they just completely gave up. So in Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, 2 of the pros are just that it's a fusion monster card. The last one is fusion monster card quite literally, but the second one is fusion monster card allows to easily attack opponent's monster on the field. Yes, it reads like a poorly translated bootleg version of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, but that's pretty funny that in the pros, of the 3 pros that they could come up with for Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, which to be fair, the card is not very good, but I feel like I could even come up with like some more pros, like can be summoned with Future Fusion or Dragon's Mirror or works with Blue Eyes support or something along those lines. All they could come up with for the second and third part of the pros is that it's a fusion monster card. Yes, I can see that. And of course, okay, key features, fusion monster card as well. So it's 3 times in this one entry. The pro of 5-headed dragon is eligible in trading card game tournaments. You could write that on every single one of these cards except for the god cards that are unplayable, but they're like listing the god cards as having their real effects, which makes me think they're referencing the real version of the card, but that is pretty funny. And like every single one of the god cards has at least the real version in the pictures somewhere, but I think it's really funny that they just randomly, when they can't think of like enough things to say about these cards, they just put, oh, it's eligible for tournaments, don't you worry about that. But I guess some of the other cards aren't, because I don't think let's see, did Dark Magician Blue Eyes say that? Blue Eyes, okay, Blue Eyes says it, and Dark Magician does not. I guess Dark Magician isn't eligible for real tournaments. We just learned that from this great article. And that's pretty much the article. They had Pot of Greed as number 10, but that card's actually good. Also, it's pretty funny that Pot of Greed is like one of the lowest rated cards on the entire list, even though it's one of the only good cards on the entire list. But I thought it was funny at the very end here of the article, they talk about different types of cards, and there's like these nature shots of these cards. Like this Azure Silver Dragon is like on a tree stump out in like the middle of winter, and then this one for the Spells and Traps, they're like covered in like grass and stuff. Like, who took these pictures? I don't know. I saw that and it was pretty funny. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. Not as serious as my other videos, but these articles, they're always pretty funny to read through. I know these articles aren't really meant for someone like me, and that's perfectly fine. They are obviously meant for a very, very casual audience, but I still think it's pretty funny just looking through these and seeing someone that probably hasn't played Yu-Gi-Oh in a long time writing an article about Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And even with only talking about old school Yu-Gi-Oh cards, they still get a ton of information wrong. It's just pretty funny to me. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.